Hello and welcome to the Hscqi Awards. We are here today to celebrate the excellent quality improvement work going on across the region, and we hope to take you on a quality improvement journey. We will announce each category, tell you who the finalists were in the category, and then we will announce our winner, and you will have an opportunity to hear from the winning teams about their projects. During the ceremony, we would remind you about using the chat function on Zoom. And also for those of you who are on Twitter, please take the opportunity to tweet the good news about today's excellent QI work. And already Aidan Keeney has had the opportunity to meet in person with the winning teams, and we will be able to show you this later in the ceremony too. I hope you enjoy today's ceremony, and while we are virtual, we are all connected through quality improvement, for our passion for quality improvement and our love to learn and share, and we hope we have an opportunity to do that today. I will now pass over to Aidan, who is going to say a few words.
So I just want to say hello to everybody and to welcome you all to this event here today. I feel very privileged and honoured to be here today to pay tribute to and acknowledge the hard work of all our staff and service users. I would like to welcome you all, and in particular I would like to welcome a number of key groups that are here today. I would like to welcome all those who are members of the Hscqi Hub team, those who are members of the Hscqi QI Leads group, any members who are here from the Hscqi Leadership group, and also those of you who are members of our growing Hscqi Level 3 alumni group. You are all very welcome here today. I also want to welcome those who are here from the Q community, and also those who are here with us today who are our colleagues in quality improvement and based down south in the Republic of Ireland in the HSE. I want to welcome all those here today who work in health and social care, and in particular to say a very warm welcome to any service users who are joining us today. So we are gathered here today, albeit virtually, to hear of the wonderful work of our finalists and our winners. But I would like to thank everyone who submitted an application to the awards for this year, in particular because the health and social care system has been working through very challenging times due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Despite this, the standard of applications this year was extremely high, and I'd like to thank the judging panel for their input. The future for the health and social care system is bright. I would now like to take this opportunity to hand over to Dr. Anne Kilgallen, Chair of the Hscqi Leadership Alliance.
This is a very special event. We're going to hear from the finalists of the Hscqi Annual Awards. For the small number of people who speak this afternoon, there are hundreds more across Northern Ireland working to improve care and support that we offer to people at every level. It's a privilege to have the opportunity to listen and to take stock of their work. But it brings to my mind the real challenge that exists for us now that we have so much improvement happening at pace. Our challenge is the spread challenge. How do we adopt and adapt change to our own environments so that really good initiatives can be manifest right across all the places we work? The research evidence recently published by the Health Foundation shows that there are at least two important steps that we need to take. The first is to fully understand why an improvement initiative has been successful, understanding the culture, the leadership and the behaviour changes which lie behind that success, and not just the technical changes. And the second part is actually giving support to people and teams adopting change, allowing them to be creative, allowing them to adapt to their local circumstances. All of this is the current challenge we face. to take the wonderful work, some of which we'll hear about this afternoon, and to amplify it so that it is available to people who rely on us for care and support, no matter where they live. I believe we are at a tipping point. Our challenge is to create the conditions to enable faster, more effective uptake of innovations and improvement. All of us have a role to play in this. If we play our part, we can truly transform care. I know that's what lies at the heart of quality improvement. I look forward to enjoying the presentations in today's event.
Thank you, Anne. We are now at the part of the ceremony where we will present the awards. We will hear who each of the finalists are in each category, and then we will announce our winner. The first category we are going to look at is Building Reliable Care. This category focuses on evidence of increasing reliability, implementation of evidence-based practice, making it easy to do the right thing and hard to do the wrong thing, and evidence of co-design and co-production and service user and carer involvement. So the finalists in this category are Enhanced Care at Home Prescribing Across Primary and Secondary Care Interface, South Eastern Trust, the Acute Medical Model, Northern Trust, Minimum Acceptance Criteria, Belfast Trust, Reforming Rapid Angina Assessment Clinic Services, HSCB. And the winner is the Acute Medical Model, Northern Trust. Congratulations, Northern Trust. We're going to take a little bit of time now to hear about the award-winning entry.
We are happy to present our Acute Medical Model as part of the Hscqi Improvement Awards under the category Building Reliable Care. Sister Julie Mann and myself, Dr. Darshan Kumar, shall take you through our presentation. The background to this was the need for an acute team focus in our hospital. Prior to this model, we didn't have an acute medical focus nor ambulatory care, and this had a direct impact on bed capacity and also on patient flow. There was the need to get the right patient in the right place and at the right time. We hence commenced this acute medical model project. This project involved a multi-professional team designing, testing and implementing an acute medical model in Antrim Area Hospital as part of the Trust Reform and Modernizing program. There was the need to test the acute medical model that was envisioned by having visited several acute medical units across the country and taking several positive flow aspects into consideration. Towards this, our aim was to increase to 50% the number of short stay admissions, that is, admissions with 0 to 2 day length of stay by April 2020 in our hospital. We also wanted to increase the number of patients seen by a consultant within 14 hours, and this is as per the Society of Acute Medicine and Royal College of Physicians standards. We wanted to ensure that our patients receive the right care in the right place and at the right time, and towards this, our aim was to reduce the average ward moves to less than our mean. We used the IHI and QI methodologies and came up with a primary driver diagram. As you can see, our primary driver diagram might seem complex, but it was necessary as it needed lots of aspects incorporated. Towards that, we had a primary driver, secondary driver, and interventions to support and achieve our measures. One of the way we managed this was by creating several work streams. As I mentioned before, ours was a multi-professional diverse project team, and it's seen here. And our project work streams incorporated all aspects of patient journey, patient flow, and patient experience.
Indeed, I remember this well. I had been in post about 1.5 years developing a new general medical ward, and we were just getting our heads above water with an RQI inspection confirming our progress. Then Darshan popped his head round my office door to discuss his vision of developing a new acute assessment area in B4. And I did laugh to myself, stating, "You're all trying to push me over the edge before I retire."
Not at all, Julie. Indeed, it was because of the staff's resilience and support that we undertook all the necessary whiteboard tests. We incorporated all the IT systems and information recording systems, and we also undertook a simulated patient journey, and thus the acute assessment area was established. Another important aspect of our project was the aspect of service users and stakeholders. We carried out a 10,000 voices survey before the project commenced. This allowed us to better understand the original medical model and incorporate feedback that would improve patient experience. We conducted a co-production engagement session with expert patients. This involved outlining draft proposals for the model, discussing these, and integrating feedback into its design. We regularly collected and acted on feedback gathered in the AAA area through surveys and feedback buckets. What we have shown here is a snippet from our ICT interfaces, which shows our promotion of the acute medical model. Here is another snippet from the 10,000 more voices action plan template. What we are trying to emphasize here is that we used all the quality improvement methodologies. We had the advice of Bevan O'Donnell, who came at the opportune moment as an IHI improvement advisor. As you can see here, our music score was 135.5, and pre-project, this gave us reassurance that there was a reasonable chance for success. We used process mapping where needed and also incorporated multiple PDSA cycles as part of the model for improvement. Our measures were divided into the outcome, process, and balancing. Our outcome measures were looking at the percentage of admissions with short stay, percentage of admissions seen by a consultant within 14 hours of their admission. The process measures was looking at the percentage of patients through AAA and also who were referred on for ambulatory care. We looked at balancing measures, which actually gave us reassurance on patient safety. This was by looking at the time for specialty patients to reach the specialty wards. We also looked at the average number of ward moves per patient, and we also looked at the readmission rates. We look at the results from the outcome measures, and this is the percentage of non-elective admissions with short stay. I want to show you that the graph starts from April 2017, but our preparations for model began at around February to April 2019. Our model was actually launched at the end of September, but we incorporated small aspects of the acute medical model right at the preparation phase. As you can see, our trend shows that we have been consistently above the mean since the preparations for the model began, and we have done very well even during COVID phase. When we look at the percentage of patients going through AAA and the time recorded as seen by a consultant within 14 hours, this actually highlighted the need for better ICT interfaces. Currently, we are undertaking this by manual audits, and we are reliant on proper recording in case notes. But again, to emphasize that we have been consistently performing above our baseline data at 45%. When we look at the percentage of suitable patients going through our acute assessment area, I think this is an important slide because this actually showed us that small changes from our baseline actually reflected as very big positive achievements in patient care data. If I can highlight to you on the winter of 2019, this was when there were considerable bed pressures, and very quickly we went on to the old model. Through the PDSA cycles, we regained control on the medical model, and once we started to increase the throughput through our acute assessment area, we noticed that our other outcome measures improved significantly. Another important slide is the percentage of patients discharged out of hospital from acute assessment area. Since the inception of model, you can see the trend of us consistently being above 20%. And this was through engaging patients in ambulatory care. If I can highlight to you the January and February of 2021, when the whole hospital, or possibly in the whole region, was under chock-a-block due to the COVID pandemic, nearly 90% of our hospital discharges came from acute assessment area. When we look at our balancing measures on the percentage of readmissions, this was important to us, as since we were engaging with ambulatory care, we wanted to ensure there was no compromise in patient care or safety. As you can see here, the percentage of readmissions did not change.
And then we have our staff feedback. We created a Niggles book with daily review and support to enable staff regularly reviewing our PDSA cycles. And we did this with no additional resources in an environment that was demographically challenging, as it was spread over 2 areas. Our success was due to the flexibility, collaboration, and resilience of the staff, and we got there. It was so good to see ownership and change being embedded into practice, as we all know the challenges of change management. And this was confirmed with our patient feedback, highlighting their positive experience. And this gave us the confidence that we were providing high standards of patient-centred care in Antrim Area Hospital, and that we are doing the right thing. In summary, our assessment area is meeting our new corporate objectives: better health, better care, better value, and we have saved over £1 million of the public purse. Using QI methodologies, we have built a safe and reliable model for patient care in Antrim Area Hospital. From this, the lessons learned: our success was due to collaboration, team working, innovation, and resilience. As ward sister, I feel very humbled and extremely proud, as we have created an environment where clinical excellence can flourish. I used to address the team as the A team, but now we have expanded due to our success and taken the 3 A's from our new name of acute assessment area, and we are now called the AAA team. Not that I would be biased or anything. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Julie. A special thanks, and I want to acknowledge every member of our acute medical team and the acute medical project, as without their help and support, we wouldn't have achieved this. Thank you everyone for listening.
So Darshan, I am absolutely delighted to present you with the Building Reliable Care Award. Very well done.
Thank you very much, Aileen. It's indeed a pleasure and an honour to accept this award. As we had mentioned, ours is a multi-diverse professional team, and we are all happy to accept this award. Thank you very much.
So our next category is integrating care across boundaries. This category looks at developing multidisciplinary pathways, involving service users and carers, working across traditional boundaries, and changing behaviours and reducing variation. And our finalists in this category are NEMO, Delayed Discharge Process, Belfast Trust, Reducing Out-of-Hours Stroke, DTN Times at the Ulster Hospital, South Eastern Trust, Nursing Home Dysphasia Service Redesign, Belfast Trust. And the winner is NEMO, Delayed Discharge Process, Belfast Trust. Congratulations to the team. And let's hear a little bit more about this award-winning project.
Hi, my name's Mary O'Brien and I'm the Divisional Social Worker in Mental Health and CAMHS. And I'm presenting today with my colleague, Niall Corrigan, Consultant Psychiatrist in the Inpatient Psychiatric Unit in Belfast. We're here to share our presentation today for the Hscqi 2021 Awards. We won, and we won in the category Integrating Care Across Boundaries. So we're going to share our project with you today. So our project was called the NEMO project, which means Needs Extra Management Option. And the project set out to create clear care pathways to improve patient flow and the journey of our patients through inpatients and back into community. So why did we set out to do this? Well, we had 17 people who were fit for discharge, who were subject to a delay in their discharge, effectively stuck in inpatients. So we wanted to improve the flow to get those individuals back into community where they needed to be, to free up the beds to have people come in who needed to be admitted, and to stop us having to use out-of-area admissions. What was our vision? So, as I said, our vision was to improve that flow, to set up a step-down unit, which is called Woodstock Bank. You'll see the lovely picture of it there, and I'm going to talk about that later. So that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to reduce the number of people who were delayed. And how did we do that? Well, we did it based on co-production. We worked with our service user consultant and our carers advocates and a range of multidisciplinary people and professionals to undertake the project. So our service users and our carers were at the heart of everything we did. It really was true co-production. So in good QI standards, we had a driver diagram. So we set out to reduce the number of people subject to a delay in their discharge by 50%. That meant that our primary drivers were our patients, our carers, access to treatment, placements, leadership, and our communication. And you can see there what our secondary drivers were and our change ideas. Our change ideas based on creating new systems, processes in AMIC and in community to make this happen, to set up a step-down unit. So I'm going to take you through it. So our aim. So back to the why again, to remove the obstacles to patients' return to community. As we all know, if someone's fit for discharge, they should be discharged because that's the best thing. People don't live in inpatient facilities, they live in community. So the aim was to reduce the number again by 50%, as I've told you. And that meant that we had to look at our inpatient facility, our community, and beyond. Our outcome measures were the number of patients who were subject to delayed discharge in AMIC per month, the total number of patients discharged from AMIC per month, and our patients admitted out of trust. So how did we do it? Now you're not going to be able to read this because it's a bit small, so I'm sorry about that, but it would have taken quite a few more pages to put it up big enough. So we created pathways we had 27 reasons why someone may be delayed in their discharge. And out of those 27, we grouped them into 4 categories and created a pathway for each one. And then we created an aide-memoire for each one because it is not person dependent. So no matter who's leading on this, they should be able to do it. So therefore, they had an aide-memoire, which was a reminder of what do you need to do to make sure that the person goes through the pathway as they should and are discharged when they're fit to be discharged. So this beautiful picture is of our team, or some of our team with a larger team. So we took this of our team, and then this is Woodstock Bank. We set up Woodstock Bank. It's an 8-bedded, 8 flats, turnkey apartments, high standard in East Belfast that we use as a step-down facility. And we set that up during COVID as part of this project. That was meant to be a temporary measure, but it worked so well that we applied for substantive funding. and we were successful in that bid. So that's now permanent, which is brilliant. And we won an award for that too, about the best COVID story, housing story. So we're really proud of that, and we're really proud of our team. Now, I'm going to hand over to my colleague, Niall Corrigan, who's a doctor in AMAC, to take you through the outcome measures and the balancing measures and all that wonderful QI stuff.
Thank you, Mary. So as Mary explained, my name's Dr. Niall Corrigan. I'm a consultant psychiatrist in the Belfast Trust, and I'm going to talk you through the rest of our presentation. So as Mary alluded to there, based on our number of change ideas, we were able to gather some data to ascertain whether we were able to meet our aim and whether the project was a success. And this is the first run chart which I'm going to talk you through, which is looking at the number of delayed patients. And you can see on the left hand side there's a dashed red line, which was our median pre the NEMO project, and then you can see on the dashed green line our post median, and you can see the number of annotations there which talk about different aspects of the project, and you can see how through the NEMO process, through the opening of Woodstock Bank, we were able to achieve a 67% reduction in the number of patients delayed post NEMO, and that was even despite the fact we were doing this during COVID, and COVID put pressures on the ward in relation to certain outbreaks and certain wards being closed for times. Moving on to the number of total discharges, and this is really important to focus on because I think through the NEMO project we've been able to improve flow, and I think that flow, the increase in flow, has been sustainable. We achieved a 34% increase in the number of patients achieving discharge post NEMO, and again you can see the various factors that were influencing that data and how our change ideas positively impact on the data. But really, data is of itself really important, but really what we're trying to do at our core again was our service users, the why. And this run chart is something that I am really passionate about. It was really the run chart which was looking at the number of patients who were being admitted and treated out of trust. And that was the real problem with our the deficits in our flow before NEMO, and that patients were being admitted out of trust. We know that when patients move out of trust, it's difficult for family members. They have longer admission processes, and really it takes them away from the core of their community, which is where they should be treated. And we were able to achieve a 65% reduction in the number of patients being treated out of trust. And again, that was despite the impact of COVID, which again sometimes had influences on the data. But that's something that we were all extremely proud of. Our balancing measure was looking at service user and staff questionnaire on the NEMO project, whether both service users and staff felt the project was valuable and it impacted positively upon the service users' recovery. So we undertook this in November 2020, and we got 48 responses in all from 8 service users and 40 staff members. And you can see that 94% of our inpatient staff felt that NEMO was a positive experience and it was an effective use of their time. Similarly, for our community staff who again were involved in our NEMO project, they also felt that it was really important and it improved communication between our inpatient services and community services. And you can see on the top pie chart some of the things that were referenced as being a positive benefit of the NEMO process. Additionally, looking at our step-down service, Woodstock Bank, all of the service users who were involved in this and all of the staff were unanimous that Woodstock Bank had a positive impact on their mental health recovery, and they felt supported by the staff working there. And you can see the certain benefits that the patients felt about Woodstock Bank, which is independence and increasing support. Looking at our system changes, so I think this project has been transformative for our inpatient service. Really, we understood that the co-production ethos was central to what we did, and that putting the service user at the center of what we did allowed everything else to flow from that. Using the QI perspective and using the driver diagram to understand our drivers and help with change ideas was really beneficial. It really was about integrating care across boundaries. Not only where it was inpatient and community services, we also involved our community and voluntary sector to help support Woodstock Bank, and then the Northern Ireland Housing Executive were also involved in that step down service. And really one of the core things we learned is that an inpatient service has to reach out.
Thank you, Niall, for telling us about the system changes. I'm now going to talk about our future steps. So, the project is about sustainability and ensuring sustainability in patient flow. So we want to make sure this continues, and it has continued. One wonderful thing is the HSCB, the board, have adopted the AMIC model and created 5 bed capacity network coordinators across the region. So they've taken on our model as a model for the region. That we're really proud of. To further improve interfaces with community services, to make sure that that transition back into community is seamless. And Woodstock Bank, as I said, has secured substantive funding from the Northern Ireland Housing Executive. So it's a permanent feature now, and it's great. So just the end. We've taken a pride in what we do. We're really proud of this project. We're proud of the work we've done. And the big thing is we did it to improve services for our service users and carers. That's what we're most proud of. Staff were energised by doing the Hscqi Award, which is a reward for all the hard work and effort. They really are proud of this and glad to receive this award. And they really enjoyed doing this QI project.
Thanks everyone. I'm delighted to present on behalf of the Belfast Trust.
Thank you very much for listening and enjoy the rest of the event.
So Niall and Mary, I'm absolutely delighted to present you with the Integrating Care Across Boundaries Award. Very well done.
Thank you very much. It means a great deal to us to receive this award today, and I just want to thank the team that have been involved in this. It's been a really good improvement for inpatients, for our service users and carers, and we've managed to sustain the improvement, which is even better. So thank you.
Our next category is Innovation and Transformation of Care. This category looks at those who have used innovation to improve quality, safety and effectiveness, have supported change through effective leadership and culture, have involved service users and carers, and have led innovation to facilitate evidence-based practice. And the finalists are Temporal Artery Biopsy, Northern Trust; Ambulatory Services, South Eastern Trust; Care Without Pyjamas, Northern Trust; COVID-19 ICU Follow-Up Clinic, Belfast Trust; a reformed OPAT service in the Southern Trust. And in this category we have joint winners. We have the COVID-19 ICU Follow-Up Clinic in the Belfast Trust and the Ambulatory Services in the South Eastern Trust. Congratulations to both teams. And first off, we're going to hear from the Belfast Trust about their project.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Rosalind O'Reilly, ICU consultant in the Belfast Trust. Thank you for inviting me to present today on behalf of the ICU follow-up team, and thank you for selecting our project to receive this award. Today I will discuss the background of our project, our QI methods and measures, and our learning for the future. It is widely accepted that critical illness can be a traumatic experience and can result in significant physical deconditioning. Patients often find the step down from hospital to home extremely difficult, and the impact of their intensive care stay can be profound. Previously, there was no formal follow-up service for ICU patients in the Belfast Trust, and we realised that patients needed comprehensive care to extend beyond their intensive care stay to maximise and support their recovery. This is why the symbol of our clinic is the dandelion, which represents healing from emotional pain and physical injury alike. Our vision was to improve the physical and psychological recovery for patients by establishing a multidisciplinary follow-up service. Our aim was to offer 6 and 12-week appointments post-discharge as per national guidelines to 80% of COVID ICU patients by September 2020. This was our vision because there have been multiple guidelines setting out the need for follow-up following critical care, with NICE stating that poor quality rehabilitation and impaired recovery from severe illness should be regarded as a major public health issue. Other faculties have subsequently set follow-up as a standard of care. Additional guidelines from the British Thoracic Society and Faculty of Intensive Care Medicine were produced specifically in response to the COVID-19 pandemic, both of which provided the basis for our clinic. For some context, this is a process map of what the patient journey from ICU looked like previously, with patients admitted to the Belfast Trust COVID ICU from multiple areas, and survivors discharged home from the medical ward. The purpose of the COVID ICU follow-up clinic is to bridge the often significant gap between ICU and home. It aims to support patients and their family at home to decrease avoidable and costly presentations to the GP. Follow-up clinic provides early and focused interventions, coordinates required outpatient services, and links with primary care to avoid unscheduled emergency attendance. The multidisciplinary team constructed a driver diagram to set out the change ideas required to achieve our primary aim. This gave us a plan and structure to focus us and meant we could implement changes in a manageable way. We created a wide MDT and we used a collaborative leadership approach to co-design this novel clinic using the national guidelines. The model for improvement approach was used and changes were tested with PDSA cycles. As there were many restrictions in place, we had to use new and innovative solutions to meet our targets and create an accessible and efficient service. Some of our tested innovations included a virtual MDT appointment system, which you can see in this photograph, a one-stop shop appointment with multiple specialty review, which we tested and secured appropriate facilities for, a live flexible rota system to ensure appropriate staffing and management of clinic bookings, a virtual platform for notes and collaborative note-keeping using live performers, able to be accessed by the whole team. We used a proactive approach with patient assessment questionnaires sent and electronically collated prior to appointments, such as this questionnaire. We also arranged standard investigations such as x-rays and bloods prior to the patient's appointment to avoid any delays in management. We immediately entered our electronic notes into ECR and posted a summary letter to avoid communication delays and enhance links with community care. These graphs demonstrate our outcome measures, showing that we achieved our aim of providing 80% or more patients with follow-up. They show the percentage of patients from COVID ICU who attended 6 and 12-week follow-up. We can't comment on any shifts or trends as this represents cumulative data, so we cannot apply run chart rules. The first chart demonstrates an increase in patients attending, and we achieved the aim of more than 80% of patients. Similarly, the run chart for the 12-week clinic, we've achieved greater than 80% attendance. And in particular, the last 4 data points indicate 100% attendance rate. This is not annotated with tests of change as there were so many changes implemented very quickly due to the nature of COVID-19 and working in a pandemic. And because we had to set up this entire service in a matter of weeks, it meant many changes were tested and implemented before the first clinic. The process measure for the project was the actual time from discharge to 12-week appointment, that is, 84 days. This demonstrated occasions where patients had a longer wait. You can see 4 were above the upper confidence limits. We investigated these to gather further learning. The first outlier was due to the rapid nature of how the clinic was set up, and this was the first possible time to see them. 1 patient was unable to attend as it temporarily left the country, and 2 were struggling with mental health issues. But by offering repeat appointments, they subsequently attended. There is 1 data point below the lower confidence limits, as the appointment was offered earlier as it was the final clinic of the first wave. From the third red circle, there is a shift in the data points below the centre line, and they stay there. This is highlighted in the oval shape. This demonstrates our improvement, with clinic appointment initially delivered at 100 days and decreased to around 84. As you can see, we also demonstrate the rule of 2 of 3, which also indicates that there is improvement. This improvement is due to us becoming more familiar with our system. Our process measure demonstrates that we improved on the delivery of the 12-week appointment to the correct time frame. As we now have a robust system in delivery of clinics, appropriately timed delivery of clinics may become our outcome measure as we move forward. In understanding our new system, we collated data on onward referral. This data is displayed in this Pareto chart. This reinforced the link required with these services and the importance of access to these specialties early in the patient journey. It has also enabled us to streamline our onward referral process into, for example, ENT, which unsurprisingly, with the nature of critical care, has a high referral rate. Our balance measure was patient feedback. This is a word cloud from free text areas in our feedback forms. We collected feedback at each stage of the process, and it was overwhelmingly positive. For example, 100% of patients stated the 6-week appointment helped them cope with their ICU stay. Furthermore, we specifically asked about all the specialties that assessed them, finding marked benefit in all of them. Our feedback demonstrated that patients were seen on time 100% of the time, and at a time that suited them. We explored the use of virtual clinics, and we found that patients did find this a very useful and convenient service. We also explored the one-stop clinic, where again the patients overwhelmingly found this more convenient versus multiple separate appointments. Here is a short clip from one of our patients when he shared his experience of ICU follow-up for a Trust social media video.
So when you got to the clinic, they had all the information that they needed. You've seen it, a whole range of specialists covering physio, pharmacy, speech, language, dietitian, everything was covered in that one session. And all of our answers were basically, all the questions that we had that we were looking answers for were covered. What happens next? Is there anything that I should be aware of? What, if any other conditions am I likely to experience? And that's where the ICU follow-up clinic was a big help.
This patient also highlighted the huge benefit that his family got from attending the clinic. However, we had to edit this from the final video in case it caused confusion about families visiting the hospital during the pandemic. The process measure of time to 12-week clinic has demonstrated improved efficiency and utilisation of resource, and we have learned a lot for future clinics. Our team found that the model for improvement allowed for rapid learning and developing a follow-up service for COVID ICU patients. This has vastly improved my own learning and the team as a whole. QI and patient collaboration will become our focus as we continue to develop. Patient feedback was overwhelmingly positive. This work for COVID-19 patients has informed a business case for general ICU follow-up, and it is envisaged that the follow-up clinic will be an established standard for all ICU patients who may need it. The MDT was hugely engaged in this project as they knew the value and importance for patients from the start. Also, it was a massively satisfying experience for staff as they got to meet the patients again and take comfort in and contribute to their ongoing recovery. The Teams platform was crucial for collaborative, timely and robust assessments. We could ensure all investigations and tasks were completed, and it was easy to access for staff and patients. Early intervention has allowed prevention of long-term issues, normalisation of experience, and has picked up unresolved issues, which has streamlined patients' care. We liaised with the patient peer support charity ICU Steps for their input at an early stage of our clinic design and continue to work on this important partnership. And we are also engaging in the Rehab is Critical campaign. We have commenced a virtual rehabilitation exercise programme and have a patient advocate consulting on this. We are now working on other initiatives to bridge the gap to home, such as patient diaries, reimagining the Trust Critical Care website to provide resources for patients, and we hope to embed a point of contact for immediate post-discharge. Another recent initiative has been a podcast by the Ulster Orchestra specifically for our patients.
A warm and heartfelt greeting from the Ulster Orchestra. We are delighted to bring you this very special podcast with music chosen by our players especially for you.
We are continuing to develop and improve our service, and at the heart of that is the patient experience and journey. Thank you very much for listening.
Rosalind, it gives me great pleasure to be able to present you with the Innovation and Transformation Award. Very well done to you and your team.
Thank you very much, and really it's all the efforts of the team that has brought this about, all their enthusiasm from the start. to make this project so worthwhile for our patients. So thank you very much for recognising that.
It was a pleasure.
And now we hear from the South Eastern Trust.
My name is Noel Black. I'm the Principal Physiologist at the South Eastern Health and Social Care Trust. Right at the beginning of the pandemic, we needed to put in a novel pathway to improve access, performance, efficacy, and patient and staff safety for ambulatory services. I'm going to show you just a short video clip that ITV had put in place for us at that time to demonstrate this good work that we were about to do.
A drive-through facility that's up and running there to find out as well how other services are likely to change on the ground. It's the health service, but not as we knew it. Here at the Ulster Hospital, patients receive a heart monitor through the window of their car without any need for them to go through these doors.
Yes, whenever the COVID pandemic hit, we had to come up with a strategy to still see our patients. We looked at the heart rhythms, the pulmonary function of our patients, and we need to make sure that we could still see our urgent patients during this very difficult time. So we needed to move from a contact point with our patients through to a non-contact point, but yet still deliver the service.
Hundreds of people have already availed of this cardiac drive-through service.
You go into the hospital and you're sitting there, like, I wouldn't have had this if I had to go in and sit there, I wouldn't have came. So it is brilliant, and you're not sitting there with everybody else with different sections.
And if you can't make it to the hospital site, equipment is also being driven out to people.
Brought to the door, and they can continue and get the help they need and the readings they need to help the medical team work out the treatment that they need. It's vital.
It's one sign the NHS is about to dramatically reconfigure again as services start to come back to life.
There were three key successes in the drive-through initiative. The first was the optimal safety for patients and staff, while still delivering maximal essential heart and lung diagnostic service provision during a pandemic. The second was ensuring excellent patient satisfaction and looking for opportunities to enhance patient care while improving access to ambulatory monitoring through co-production. And thirdly, delivery of service provision at optimal levels or above, and the flexibility to deliver increased services for the future. By April 2021, over 4,000 patients have received their monitors safely during the pandemic, including those shielding and in care homes. And there was over 8,000 in-hospital attendances avoided during the pandemic period right up to April, allowing other essential in-hospital tests to be performed safely within our hospital buildings. This created a great opportunity for waiting lists to be reduced during the pandemic. So how did our patients and service users feel about and influence the changes that we made? Well, we received over 700 patient questionnaires. We carried out PDSA cycles, and the comments that we got through that, we reacted to that and made changes. And we learned from the feedback and developed better ways of communicating and delivering our services to our patients. Over 99% of our patients would recommend the service to others. Over 95% thought this was a good alternative to the traditional outpatient appointment. Over 98% stated they were very satisfied or satisfied. And over 99% felt their privacy, dignity, and confidentiality were maintained through this new pathway. We provided clear instructions on troubleshooting from the teams to our patients, and we revised this with our patient feedback. And this was really important that our patients were able to co-produce this with us. We got some wonderful feedback from our patients. They thought we were very well organized. They thought it was a great idea for the drop-off and pick-up points, avoiding going into the main hospital building. They thought it was very easy and well explained the whole way through the procedure. And they thought our staff were wonderful and pleasant at all times. They thought that we should definitely keep this in place after COVID has gone, and they thought it was a first-class service. We used a PDSA cycle to move through each stage, incremental stages through this process. So it was a delivery of service through incremental changes in the way we did things. So we started off slowly and built up with each change and related that back to our patients, and they related their feelings to us. So we collected evidence to show that the quality of the reading was not impacted by the change. And we ensured that the co-production met patient expectation by providing excellent communication and support. This graph demonstrates what happened right at the very outset of the pandemic. We can see here that all services were initially affected very harshly back in April 2020. But because of this service that we put in place, we were able to deliver much higher service than we otherwise would have. What you can see here, then, by the second wave of the pandemic, we were totally resilient to what the pandemic was causing in other services, and we were able to deliver our service at that time. What you can see here in yellow would have been all the service provision we could have provided safely to those staff inside the hospital setting. That meant that all of these patients would not have been able to safely receive their monitors during that pandemic period. So altogether, what we were able to do then was provide to all these patients by setting up this drive-through service to our patients. So the novel change in service made this possible. The drive-through co-production partnership with voluntary services made this workable for our patients and for our service. We can clearly see here from these two graphs that we were able to outstrip the activity that we were even doing before the pandemic. So we were able to bring waiting lists down and make sure that more patients were seen than ever before, even during the pandemic. And this example here of our overnight oximetry demonstrated we went from over 113-week waiting list to now under 6 weeks. So our patients with a restricted disability no longer needed to leave their car to receive or return their monitor. Carers can bring the patient for the appointment or collect and return the monitor for the patient. A face-to-face service is still offered to those who need that one-to-one support. And those who have been shielding have had full access to these essential services throughout the pandemic. So how did our staff feel? Did they feel supported through the change? Did we listen to each other? Well, yes, we had excellent staff satisfaction. We had wonderful and effective leadership within the team at all levels. And we had an open forum for suggestion and learning from each other. 100% of our staff felt that the clinic was very good or good with no changes needed. 100% said they received enough clinical support, and 100% said the new accommodation was suitable, and 100% said the zero contact clinic gave them job satisfaction. It was really important, especially during that pandemic period. Our voluntary services have partnered with us in order to provide a collection and return for these monitors to our patients' own home or care home. This partnership ensures everyone has access to these services, especially our most vulnerable patients. The reliance on ambulance transport has been removed by the effective and truly inspirational partnership with our voluntary services. And we shared the concept with other trusts. The Northern Trust quickly and successfully joined us in this new service model. The Western Trust has followed with a similar design. And we have open dialogue with the British Heart Foundation to share learning and develop these services. So in summary, patient satisfaction delivery of an enhanced patient-focused model was achieved. Optimal safety for patients and staff while still delivering service provision during a pandemic was achieved. And delivery of service provision at optimal levels or above, and the flexibility to deliver increased services now and in the future was achieved, and there's plenty more success to come. Thank you.
Noel, I'm delighted to give you the award for the Innovation and Transformation category in the Hscqi Annual Awards. Very well done.
It's a great award to achieve. I haven't achieved it. The team, our volunteers, our patients have achieved this for the Trust, and thank you for giving us this opportunity. And it's been a long pandemic, but we've managed to change things, make things better for our patients even during that time. So really thank you for this award.
Absolutely, well done.
Our next category is partnership and co-production. In this category, we recognise the excellent work that has gone on to involve service users and families, to work across different sectors, to consider inclusiveness, and all of the time to think about the end user and the service. And the finalists are The Right Care at the Right Time, Belfast Trust, Emergency Surgical Unit, Antrim Hospital Northern Trust, Wellness Recovery Unit, South Eastern Trust, COVID-19 Pandemic Planning in a Regional Virology Laboratory, Belfast Trust. And the winner is the Wellness Recovery College, South Eastern Trust. Congratulations. Let's hear a bit more about this winning project.
Hi, my name is Eileen Shevlin. I'm the Service User Consultant for the Trust, for the South Eastern Trust. So I just want to give a little bit of context into the Wellness Recovery Network and why it all started off. So I myself found my own recovery through co-production, co-design, shared decision making, co-delivery in the Recovery College, and I loved what I did there. But it also led me to think that we needed to create the conditions for a more informal environment where people could come and talk about recovery and celebrate. I wanted to celebrate recovery and shout it from the rooftops. So I wanted to organise something that was more informal with a group of like-minded people. And the Wellness Recovery Network was born. So we work in partnership with the South Eastern Trust Recovery College. We have close links with Action Mental Health. We have monthly group meetings where we meet informally to focus on our mental health and our wellness strategies. We have a singing group that we run once a week where people go to sing. And we have plans to expand throughout all areas of the Trust.
Hi, my name is Angela O'Hara. I led on the project as the Wellness Recovery Network Coordinator, and I'm going to talk a wee bit about the QI methodology that we had used to evaluate how successful it was. So one of the first things that we did was to find out what our main aim was, which was for the people who were accessing our service to increase their wellness, and we measured that against about 80% of the participants. And in order to achieve that, what we implemented was a driver diagram. So we looked at the key drivers that would be important for us to succeed in our aim. One of the frameworks that we used is a model called CHIME. We use this at the end of our sessions to help us gauge what people's well-being was like after attending our monthly and singing sessions. What we then did was we collated all the data, we used different QI methodologies, which I'll talk a bit about later, and what we accumulated was an outcomes-based accountability report card showing how much did we do, how well did we do it, and is anyone better off. Over the course of September to March, we ran 8 support sessions. We had 92 overall attendances to those sessions and 37 individual attendances. How well we did it was that 90% of the people who attended had an overall improvement in mood, and 70% of those people attended more than one session. Is anyone better off? This is where we measure against our CHIME scale. So we look at connectedness, hope, identity, meaning and empowerment. And as you can see, all of them are sitting on the high 80s and 90s for each of those indicators. We also would record qualitative data and give people an opportunity to write and share a bit about their experience of attending the network, and you'll see some of the terrific quotes that we have from people. The next OBA card that we did was for the singing group. During that same reporting period, we had 19 singing sessions, we had over 223 overall attendances, and we had 29 individual attendances. How well we did it: 98% recommended to family and friends, 93% had an overall improvement in mood, and 86% attended more than one session. We used a Pareto chart and bar chart and measured against different words that people would highlight at the beginning and end of the singing sessions. And what you will see is that before singing started, the main words that were spoken were anxiety, depressed, and after the singing ended, it was fun, relaxed, encouraged and connected. So one of the QI methodologies that was fundamental in this project was the PDSA cycles. What that allowed us to do was us to safely pilot different ways of gathering information or implementing new policies and being able to review that and change in accordance with it. So one of our last big events that we had with over 80 people attending was our launch event for us to expand across the South Eastern Trust. And then of course COVID-19 hit and put all those plans on hold. So COVID-19 posed many challenges for us. We couldn't do the extension that we were hoping to, but we adapted very quickly and moved all of our sessions online. So on Mondays we had wellness conversations, and on Fridays we did board games as a way of staying connected with people and continuing to focus on mental health and well-being. Again, what we were able to do with that was to create an OBA card for the reporting period of March to December. We had 58 sessions online, 339 individual attendances, and the other thing that we did as a way of staying connected with people was 64 online wellness tools. And what we've seen from that on our Facebook page was that more people were engaging with us online. We've seen a 33% increase in our likes and nearly 60,000 views of our posts, with over 7,000 people engaging with us. And once again, you will see those chime indicators. Is anyone better off of the people who attended with us online? Although COVID-19 posed many challenges for us, it also gave us an opportunity to look at some creative and innovative ways of engaging with people. And what we have learned from those is that it was very successful and a way of engaging with people online, which we hope to continue in the future. One of the things that makes the Wellness Recovery Network very unique is that it's inclusive to everyone, as we believe wellness is for everybody. It's a safe place where people can be themselves, but also to build up their strengths and talents. We have a range of volunteers and different people who have opportunities within our service to showcase their talents, their strengths and the different skill sets that they have. And now you're going to hear from some of them to talk a wee bit about their journey of being in the network.
Hi, my name is Robert Hscqi. I am a committee member within the network and a volunteer. I was attending Action Mental Health in Newtownards, recovering from an addiction, and I was asked if I would be interested in attending the network. I hemmed and hawed a bit because I didn't know what this meant, but on my first visit to the network I found that I was with people that have similar problems but parallel recovery lines, and certainly that was the start of my recovery. Part of my recovery also, seeing people willingly come to these meetings with maybe inquisitive, but very much then they start attending on a monthly basis as a regular. And certainly when it comes to the board game on a Friday, I have to say that I have never seen it such a competitive group. I was introduced to the singing group and I was a wreck at it, but soon found out that this was a good place for me to be. Now, singing to me is high up there on priorities for me in my recovery. I found myself wanting more of this. So I offered my services if there was anything that I could do to be of any help, because I felt, and very much strongly felt, that if I could be of help to one person in recovery, that was a winner for me. I'm also a master baker. Brought little goodies to everybody. I had shortbread, sausage rolls, nice fresh scones with cream, and now I'm believing that it's the cream scones that keeps me here. It's nothing to do with my personality, it's all got to do with the cream scones.
Hi, my name is Pauline Murdoch. I am David's wife and also his full-time carer.
Hello, I'm David Murdoch.
How we first learned about the network is go back a little bit from that. David had had an appointment and he'd come out with a Recovery College brochure in which he had suggested that he attend an anxiety course to see how it suited him. So he did that, and to be honest, within 2 to 3 weeks of him starting the course, I could see a complete transformation in David's mood and how he coped with his depression and anxiety. And it was taken by Eileen, and before the end of the course she invited David along to a network meeting, and she was just setting this up and would we come along and see what happened. David was too anxious to come on his own, so he said for the first couple of months would I come with him, which I was quite happy to do, and realised very quickly how much it suited David and his problems, and it suited me too. And as I could see the improvement in what was happening for both of us, we realised we wanted to volunteer more and more and do anything we could to help the network.
So following on from what my wife Pauline had said, I came along to the network initially to listen, to find out what it was about. Thinking of that acronym that was mentioned earlier, CHIME, I quickly realised that this group of people provided hope and that connectiveness. And I know it's easy to think about CHIME just as an acronym, but speaking personally, after a while I realised this gives me an identity, purpose and meaning, and empowerment, in the sense that I wanted to get involved and do more, which is how I became a committee member, and since then both Pauline and myself have become volunteers with the South Eastern Trust. So we're glad to be involved, to use our strengths to help other people.
What's next? Now that we have started to come out of restrictions and lockdown has eased, the plan is to scale up and spread the network again to the multiple locations in the South Eastern Trust. And we continue to provide the conditions for people to get involved in co-production. We continue to engage with people with lived experience on multiple platforms. We have reintegrated our face-to-face sessions and are continuing our weekly online sessions.
If you want to see how good my sausage rolls are, come along to one of these meetings.
Angela and Eileen, I'm delighted to present you with the award for partnership working and co-production. Very well done.
Thank you so much for this award. It means a lot to all of us who are involved, and a special thanks to our volunteers, to all the people who attended the network, and to all of the partners that we work with.
Congratulations to all our finalists and our winners, and we hope you have enjoyed finding out about the award-winning work today. Thank you to everybody who has helped us put our event together. It has been a challenge with the virtual environment and the tight deadlines, but we appreciate everything that everybody has done to make this happen today. We would also like to take the opportunity to thank Liam and the team from Redbox who worked with us to get the event over the line. I hope we all leave today with a passion for quality improvement and optimism for the future, and that you're happy to take away some really good reminders of the excellent work that's going on across the region. Thank you for being part of our celebration, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your day.